We talk a lot on here about deeper, more intense and involved ways to transform your life from the inside out, which is great if you're looking for ways to transform your life from the inside out. Often it requires deeper, more intensive, more engaged and involved ways to do that. But every once in a while, we need a little bit of light, or maybe some of us need a lot more light in our lives, a lot more things that just feel lovely, light, and easy to make every day a little bit better, to improve our lives a little bit more all the time without having to work so hard at it. So today that's what we are going to talk about. I'm going to teach you 25 really simple and straightforward ways to improve your life without even really having to try all that hard. These are all ones that I use. They're ones that I teach often. And it's not always go big or go home, right? Often it's go kind of little to moderate and make it doable and sustainable and repeatable. And we find that those are the changes that can make the biggest differences. And we can do that on sort of a deeper emotional level. And sometimes we can do it on a more surface, behavioral kind of choice-based level. And often the combination of both is what is going to change your life the most. So we're going to talk about these 25 in just a second here. If you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. The button's about right down there. You can like the video. That would be really helpful. Just gets these talks in front of more people, and even share the video. That will definitely get the video, these talks in front of more people. If you're new here, say hello. If you're back again, say hello. If you're a shifter, identify yourself and definitely say hello wherever you're at. My name is Kristina, and I am a registered clinical counselor, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my membership community, the Shift Society, where we are taking this work that we talk about on here to the next level. And we are doing it in community and with accountability. And just really learning how to train our brains to think different, to feel different, to live different, to love different, and to have different every single day. Then you can get more information about the Shift Society in the description below. I help heart-centered humans break through the crap that is holding them back so they can like themselves and their lives more every day. And let's get right into these because we've got 25, so we've got our work cut out for us. The first thing that we need to know, and as I mentioned before, is to make sure that we are not discounting the small stuff. To not always just be going for the big life transforming goals, but letting ourselves engage in our lives in more kind of healthy, helpful, productive, positive ways on a daily basis that are small and doable. So don't discount the small things. Adding up, they make a big difference. And in the moment when we're just engaging in little things that make a little difference in how we're feeling, how we're thinking, how we're experiencing our lives, those little bits add up to a lot over the course of a day or a week or a month or whatever that is. So don't discount the small things. We often overlook them, take them for granted, don't think they're going to count. They absolutely do. And that's why I wanted to talk about really simple, doable ones so that it doesn't feel hard to do them. Obviously, that's the point. The first one is to listen to more classical music. Now, I am lucky in this one because my parents grew up listening, or I grew up with my parents listening often to the CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. It used to be almost all classical music and opera, and that's what we'd have on in the house, and that's what we'd have on in the car. I'm like, I want to listen to Britney Spears, but you want to listen to Bach, so because you're the grown-up and you're the one driving and have the control over the stereo, I guess Bach it is. But I am not sad about that now because I have this really strong affinity towards classical music. I really like it. And I thought that it was the only reason why I really liked it is because I'd grown up with it and it kind of had primed my brain for it, which is, often what happens. But actually research shows that even if you haven't had a lot of exposure to classical music, that just listening to it on a more regular basis has naturally calming effects on the human brain, no matter how old you are. And so obviously, choosing classical music that's more calm and relaxing, because there is some that can, get a little bit exciting in there. A little bit of Mozart can kind of get you going. I'm sorry, I'm with the cheesiness today. But yeah, listening to more classical music, and even just going onto your playlist, using I'm not going to say it because then she's going to start talking, your Alexa, and say, Alexa, play some classical music. And, or play some music for relaxing, or play some music for studying. Or if you have a Google Home, being able to say, hey, Google, play some classical music for chilling out. And it will come on. And just sort of having that a little bit more often and seeing how you feel. If you're like, I hate this and it feels horrible, or maybe you had horrible experiences in childhood to the soundtrack of classical music and you're like, this is traumatizing for me, please no, then don't. But if you don't have that association, research shows that a little bit of classical music can go a long way. The next one, drink more water. Clears brain fog, gives you energy. I mean, obviously you're not going to drink like 4 gallons a day and get like potassium depletion and then die, which is a thing. I didn't know you can actually drink too much water. But yeah, just having, your 8 to 10 glasses or whatever that is. If you're sweating and working out, have some more, but making sure that you're keeping yourself well hydrated, and it clears brain fog, and it helps you think better and feel better and have more energy. And it's just one of those simple things to remember to do. I have here this thing. I love this thing. I just got it at, I don't know if you have one near you. It's David's Tea. And I went in there one day and it's like a double-walled stainless steel. The straw is a bit short because my daughter chewed it. My 4-year-old chewed the straw when I let her have some of my drink. I hate chewed straws, so I cut it off. Now she's not allowed to have this anymore. She's not allowed to take my drink. I got her own. She can chew away. But I love it. It keeps it cold. It's nice and big. I fill this up a few times throughout the day. Works really well because it's always kind of there. Then and I don't have to try to I love cold water. That's why just like a regular water bottle doesn't do it for me. And I love straws. I find it so much easier to drink through a straw. So that's why I'm really loving the double-walled steel with the straw. Makes me drink more water. Helps and doesn't make me. It makes it easier for me to remember to drink more water. The next one, learn to deep breathe. So many of us are breathing from right here. It's causing more stress, more panic. Automatically, when you take deep diaphragmatic breaths from deep in your belly, or kind of by expanding your ribs, that's opening your diaphragm, you will notice you automatically start to feel like the edges are getting a little bit more smooth. They're not feeling so rigid, that things start to feel a little softer all over. Start to feel a little bit more calm and relaxed. So learn to deep breathe and remember to deep breathe. Another thing, little simple thing that's going to make your life better is to just assume the best in others. If you are looking for the flaws in humanity, you will find them. If you are looking for the redeeming qualities in humanity, you will find them. So learning to assume the best in others, learning to assume that people aren't sucking on purpose, looking for the helpers and the healers, being a helper or a healer, looking for the things that are going well, the people that are being kind, the humans that are being loving and generous and caring, even if it's just as small as someone holding the door open for another human, which is such a small thing. But maybe I should have put that on the list too. Hold the door open for someone. There we go, we've got 26. Hold the door open for someone. Little thing makes a big difference. The next one, let yourself play. I don't know when we lost the freedom to play, when we told ourselves at what age we told ourselves that you're this age now, you don't get to play anymore. You don't get to let loose anymore. But why? Because of what someone might think? because of what someone might say. And you better believe, I've talked about this on here before. Many of you know I run and I like to go running and I like to listen to good music. And if I'm standing at a stoplight and a good song is playing, you better believe that I am having a dance party for one on the corner of whatever street it is while I wait for the light to change. And I'm sure there's probably people driving by, and what's the worst that they're going to think? Look at that girl enjoying herself. That's weird. But the truth is, it is weird, because we don't just let ourselves enjoy ourselves. We don't just let ourselves be ourselves and just go with whatever it is that we're feeling. And so it has become weird, but it's not weird. What's weird is always sort of holding back and like trying to be this, I don't even know what it is. What is it? What are we trying to be? What are we trying to prove? That we are like too cool to embody joy? Let yourself play if you feel it. Do it. Let yourself have fun. If you're in it, do it. Express it. Experience it. The next thing that's going to improve your life without having to really try is to spend more time with people you love. Often we get so caught up in all the things we need to do, we forget to be with the people we want to be with. We forget to spend time with the people that we feel loved by, that we feel accepted by. Make more time for that. Make more time for love in your life. Call the friend up. Stop by if that's, something you do in your neighborhood and with your friend group or whatever it is. Stop by. Go visit your parents. If you have a good relationship with your parents and you like spending time with them, spend a little more time with them. Just spend time with people that you love. Do it just a little bit more. So I'm not saying like forego all of your other obligations, but like take a little more time. I know for a lot of people, they struggle with, aging parents. A lot of people around my age, my peers, struggle with aging parents and being like, I've got so much going on. I've got small children. I've got aging parents. I've got a job. I've got obligations, but my parents aren't going to be here forever. So what do I do? But I can't be with them all the time. And so I thought about this too. And this is definitely something that I struggle with. But I decided to consciously make a choice of how often could I kind of create space in my life for my parents without it feeling like this stressful obligation, and without it also being like I'm not seeing them and then feeling like guilty or feeling like I'm missing out or feeling like, I'll spend more time with them when this part of my life calms down and I don't have all these things going on. But the truth is, I don't know how long we have. Nobody's, I don't know how long I have, and I don't know how long my parents have, and not living in sort of this anxiety, this like fear around it, but this living intentionally, right? Like how often do I want to be making time to make sure that I spend with my parents, and finding that middle ground between not feeling like I'm going to miss them, like miss out on being with them, but also not feeling this huge, like stressful, like burden of like, I have to be with them all the time. And so that's sort of what I've done. So just looking at that, spending more time with the people that you love, and being intentional about it. What makes sense for you? The next one, so simple. Send a text to someone and tell them that you're thinking about them. You could even pause this video right now and go and send a text. And just tell someone, hey, I'm just thinking about you. Or you can say, hey, I just want you to know that I love you. I think you're great. I think you're hot. I think you're awesome, or whatever that is. I think you're a superstar. I think you're one of the most incredible people I know. Like whatever that is. Just send someone an encouraging, uplifting, loving text. It doesn't matter who it is. Just send it. You can send 5 of them to 5 people that you know. And you better believe that you're going to get a few messages back that are going to probably be good. And that's going to make you feel better. And it's so simple. And even just sending it and telling someone that you care about them makes you feel good. Just giving that love makes you feel a little better. The next one is to listen to uplifting music. Pretty self-explanatory. You're probably going to get, a little bit more listening to some happy, bubbly Michael Bublé versus like Megadeth. Although some people get a lot of joy listening to Megadeth. I'm not here to judge. But listen to some music that puts you in a good mood, that you notice you have a little bit more pep in your step, a little bit more sparkle in your eyes. I told you I was with the cheesy today. Listen to some music that feels good. So simple. The next one is to watch a funny movie. Again, laughing, good for the soul. Even if you're feeling kind of rotten, putting on something funny is a really great way to make you feel a little better, if even for that moment. You can feel terrible again after if you want to, but even for those moments that you're watching the funny movie, you get to feel a little better. Same thing with looking at funny memes on social media. My social media account is all about learning and laughing. That's the people that I follow, people that I can learn things from, and people that I can laugh from, if that makes sense. You know what I mean. And that's it. So when people are like, oh, social media, like I find it so draining, or, I come away feeling kind of crappy about myself. I'm like, I never do. I always feel fantastic. I feel like I learned something, or I feel like I laughed, and maybe even a little bit of both. I really like it. I mean, I still have to manage how much time I spend on there, because it can be sort of that black hole where you just keep scrolling. But yeah, watch something funny. Listen to something funny. Look at something funny. A little more funny is not a bad thing. The next one is, speaking of funny, is to laugh at your own jokes. I am really good at laughing at my own jokes. No one else could think that I am funny, but I personally get such a kick out of myself. I think I'm hilarious. And I get, if my sense of humor is not for everyone, or even for anyone, it could possibly be. But I think that I'm hilarious. I get so much enjoyment out of my sense of humor. And that's all that kind of matters, right? I mean, of course, it's lovely if other people think you're funny, and it's great if you say something and other people laugh, then you get to feel good that you made other people laugh, and, you're kind of on the ball and being witty or being funny or saying something that's mildly to moderately amusing to other people. But I laugh often harder at my own jokes than anybody else does. And I get so much pleasure out of it. So why not? Laugh at your own jokes. I gotta tell you, it feels really good. The next one is turn notifications off on your phone. If you get distracted and pulled away from whatever you're doing because you hear the bing or the bang or the boom or whatever it is, or the tinkle or the sprinkle, I don't know, whatever those sounds are on your phone, turn them off. I have no notifications on my phone. I think I get if I get a text message, I get like a little push notification will show up, but I don't get that many text messages. Because I'm not very good at replying to text messages, so people don't really text me. I mean, I eventually get back to people, but there's just a lot that comes in, and you can only do so much as a human. So, and I might even take off I won't take my notifications off for my texts, because sometimes my husband needs to get a hold of me about something with the kids or whatever. But I don't have any email notifications. I don't have any kind of messenger notifications. And so I have to intentionally go and look. And I tell you that it takes away a lot of stress. I used to have notifications on, but then I'm like, why? I don't need to. I lived, however, the first how many decades of my life without a smartphone, and I was fine. Not knowing what was going on, not replying right away, not being on the pulse of everything, not having that all in my face. I was fine. And I'm sounding old right now, but I'm okay with that. Because if old means that I have memories of connecting to being able to be more present and not always having my face on my phone, and being okay with that and still living a relatively rewarding life, or even more so rewarding life, dare I say it, then I'm okay with being old. Which leads me to the next one, which is, in addition to turning notifications off, if you want to, if you find it helpful, put your phone in another room, especially when you're at home. I often do that. If I'm in the kitchen or the living room with my family, I will just stick the phone in the bedroom on a shelf somewhere, so that I'm not tempted to just look, right? I'm not tempted to open up an app and just look at what's going on, or scroll something, or check something, or whatever it is. I'm just not tempted. But it's, pardon me, so amazing how if it's just right there on the counter or on the table or right beside you all the time, or even in your pocket, you're tempted to just, it's like this, you will notice it's like this habit, it's like this addiction to just pull it out and look at it. And not that looking at your phone is a bad thing, but if it's kind of happening constantly and it's pulling you away from the present, or for the humans, the three-dimensional humans that are in your presence, because you're looking at sort of notifications or messages or whatever, DMs from people that are not immediately in your surroundings, and maybe you need that sometimes. You need a little break from the three-dimensional humans, but I'm just saying in general. If it's just sort of this habit that's pulling you away, if it's distracting you, if it's making you procrastinate, then just like leave it in the other room, put one step. It doesn't mean you can't walk into your room and check it, but it's amazing how the human brain, when something isn't right in front of it, when there's ever any barrier, is going to make you less likely to engage in that quite so unconsciously, because you have to actually, do something instead of just, you have to do something more. You have to take an extra step instead of it just being readily available. As I mentioned a minute ago, another thing that's going to boost your mood or make your life a little better without really trying is to smile at the people you pass on the street, or say hello to strangers. Now, if you live in a big city, if you're like in like Manhattan and you're walking down the street and you're passing like hundreds of people every 5 seconds, I'm not telling you to be like, hello, 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 and like smiling all the time at everyone. You might like look like you're having a seizure or something. But if you live in a smaller community or in a place where you're not seeing people all the time and you're, out going for a run or going for a walk, like just smile, say hello. If you feel comfortable saying hello, if you don't feel comfortable saying hello, just smile. You'd be amazed. Even if the person doesn't even look at you, like I often do that if I'm running, I'll like pass someone who's running or pass someone who's walking, kind of going, opposite directions. And I'll like smile. Sometimes they see me and they smile back. Sometimes they see me and you look a little bit, shocked. And sometimes they see me and just don't do anything. And sometimes they don't see me. But regardless, I feel good. And I feel even better when I smile at someone and they smile back or say hello, if that's what you're into, but definitely the smile. Little thing, big difference. This one is going to be a great one. Actually, if I got this, I would be thrilled. And I'm going to do this. I haven't done this yet, but I was thinking about this. Send a card and put $20 in it. You remember when you were little and you get like birthday cards from your aunt or your grandma, and there'd be maybe $5 or $10, and you'd kind of open up the card and you'd kind of shake it and the money would fall out and it'd be the best thing ever. Even if it was only $5, it doesn't matter. And it was just like this little bit of money. But just the experience of like opening up a card and something falling out, money falling out, was like the best feeling. So, whatever you can afford, if it's $5, if it's $500, I mean, probably not $500. It seems like a bit excessive, but $50, $2, whatever that is, stick a little money in a card and send it to someone you love. And if you're like, here's $5, your next latte is on me. Or here's $20, go take yourself to a movie, or go buy yourself a good book, or, like have a nice lunch, have like a sandwich and a smoothie on me. Get both. You don't have to decide between the two. Get both. Here's $20, go have a sandwich and a smoothie on me. Just thinking about you. Hope you have a great day. Something so simple. You are going to be surprised how much joy that is going to give to someone. Or you can just send it to yourself. If you're like, I don't think anyone would appreciate that, but I would. Send it to yourself. Stick it in the mail and then open. Oh, wow, look at $20. Probably won't have quite the same effect, but send it. The next one, you might hate this, but it's going to feel good, is to stand in a cold shower for 30 seconds. Tons of research around cold water immersion, cold water experience. Don't give yourself hypothermia. Do it for 30 seconds. Lots of benefits to mood and immunity and all the things. You can look it up. 30 seconds of cold water in the shower, and then you can turn on the hot water. I'm not going to say you have to have the entire shower freezing cold, but just stand in there, torture yourself for the 30 seconds. If, as long as you don't have any health conditions that would prevent it, obviously. And then turn on the hot water. But you're going to notice benefits from that. Really simple, 30 seconds. Get rid of things you don't use. Clutter is not good for our mental health. Not to say if you have collections of things, if you like to have things in your home, I'm not saying become a minimalist and like live on like, a camping chair and like a TV table, and that's all you're allowed to have in your living room. But get rid of things you don't use. It's cluttering up your life. It's cluttering up your brain. You're feeling guilty that you're not using it. It's overwhelming to sift through. It's a lot of information for your brain to take in all the time. Just like get rid of stuff that's just sort of taking up space and doesn't spark your joy. Doesn't bring you any kind of satisfaction. I get so much satisfaction, you all, from cleaning and getting rid of and giving away and filling up donation boxes and like getting it out and just like purging. I get so much joy from it. It also reminds me to consume less because, you get all these things and you think you need them, you think you have to have them, and then a little while later you're getting rid of them and you're like, oh, I guess I didn't really need that. I guess I didn't really have to have that. I guess I could have less. I'm not saying nothing, but just being mindful and conscious about what you're purchasing. And then also clearing out the things that no longer serve you, clearing out that space mentally, emotionally, and, actually physically. Use your best things now. Don't save it. Don't save that fine china only for company on, Christmas Day once a year, and you only pull out those dishes then, unless you get so much joy from that you're like, I look forward to it all year, and I get so much joy from pulling out the fine china on this one day, and I look forward to it 364 days a year, and that anticipation of pulling out this, fine bone china once a year is so worth it to me, then great. But so often we're like saving it. We're like, don't sit on that couch, or don't wear that clothes, or don't wear those shoes, or, don't use those dishes, because we're like, I got to save it. Instead of just being like, how about it's just stuff, and stuff was meant to be used. And if I could get joy out of using it now and enjoying it now, then why not? Use it. Use the stuff. The next one is to volunteer. Research shows that this is actually the number one way to increase your mood, gives you the biggest bang for your buck, doing something for someone else without monetary return. So volunteering somewhere, contributing to make the world a better place, someone else's life better, being involved, volunteering. Look it up. Research shows one of the most effective ways to increase your mood, to make you feel better, gets you out, gets you useful not just to do something, but doing something that's making a difference for another human being. The next one, go get a hug. If you live with someone, press pause, get up now, go get a hug, unless you're like in a really big fight. But maybe then if you're in a really big fight, you're like, maybe a hug would be good. It would kind of break the ice and then we could talk about stuff. But if there's someone around that you get a hug from, get a hug. If you have a friend that lives a 30-minute drive away, hop in the car and go and see that friend and get a hug. It's actually kind of funny. I was having a bit of a hard week last week, and I was like, I just need a hug from my mom. And I dropped my daughter off at swimming lessons that was like halfway between our place and my parents' place. And her swimming lessons was a full hour, so I had time to drive the next 15 minutes to my parents' house and just go there and be like, I need a hug. I just need a really big hug. Okay, I have to go now. And I did, and it was so good. Get a hug from whoever that it feels good to give or get a hug from. The next one, do the darn thing you've been avoiding. The thing that's been like hanging out in the back of your brain where you're like, I need to do this, but I don't want to do it because it's going to suck. And it's probably actually not going to suck that much, but you've made it a bigger deal. But like, just do the thing. Just get it done. And you will notice immediate relief when you do that thing on the list that you're like, I do everything around that thing, but I keep rewriting that thing on my next list. When I make my next to-do list, because I get everything else done, but I keep avoiding that. Do it. Just rip the Band-Aid, get it done, and you'll get to feel so relieved when you do. Next one, plan something to look forward to. Again, if it's using the bone china once a year on Christmas Day that you look forward to, and that's a thing that brings you joy 364 days a year, then make that your thing and look forward to it. But if that's not your thing, plan something to look forward to. If it's going for a hike with a friend on the weekend, make that plan, do that thing. If it's going on a vacation somewhere, start looking at, camping spots or, beachfront villas, wherever you're at, whatever makes sense for you in your life. Plan something. If it's just like a day trip, if it's going for ice cream, if it's planning, 3 months, a 3-month, luxury experience, custom curated across the Mediterranean, I don't know. But plan something to look forward to. Do that often. The human brain loves looking forward to things, loves anticipating things. Research actually shows that we get more joy from the anticipation of some experience that we enjoy by looking forward to it and getting excited about it. And then the memories that we have from it and the nostalgia we feel around it, looking back on it, we get more joy from those two sides of it than from the experience itself. Often the experience itself is wonderful as well, but you think the experience, if it's like doing something that lasts an hour or a week right? The amount of time, the amount of hours leading up to that hour that you spent looking forward to it, and the amount of time, the amount of hours that you think about that thing is more than that 1 hour. Same with if it's a week. If you've been spending, 3 months planning for something that you're going to go do, a vacation you're going to take, you go for a week, but you've spent 3 months looking forward to it and anticipating it and researching and planning and packing. And then the weeks you spend afterwards, the moments that you have of looking back on that, get so much joy from just that one experience. Name 3 of your strengths. Ready, set, go. Put them in the comment section below. What are 3 things that you like about yourself? 3 of mine. I am very engaging and I love people. And I've got really good people skills because I love people. Something binged. I promise I don't have notifications on. I don't know what that was. Probably my husband's. We're going to blame it on him. Another thing I really like about myself is that I'm smart. That my brain is good at taking in information. And one of the things that makes me smart is that I'm very, very curious. I want to know. I'm not naturally intelligent, have this extremely high IQ, but I love understanding. And my brain, especially if it's something that I'm interested in, I just want to understand. I want to get it from all angles. And it drives me crazy if I feel like I don't fully understand something. So I am very intelligent because of the work that I do to build my knowledge so that I can fully understand things. And another one of my strengths, I am funny. Even if it's only me that thinks it, I am funny. A lot of the time. Even though my kids say that my husband is the funny one, which he's very serious. So when they said that, I was really offended. I mean, he can be funny, but I thought I was the funny one. I was convinced they were going to say me. I think I was 3rd or 4th down the list. And there's only 5 people in our family. But I think I'm hilarious. So that's all that matters. The next one is to give less hoots. That's the word we're going to use. To give less hoots, to just not sweat the small stuff. And the truth is, it's all small stuff for the most part. Not stressing about things that are not worth stressing about. Asking yourself, is this worth stressing about? And if the answer is no, be like, okay, I am going to engage my thoughts in something else. Most things that we think are a big deal are not a big deal unless we think they're a big deal. So if we're don't want it to be a big deal, then we got to think that it's not a big deal. Not let things be such big deals. The next one. Don't believe everything you think. I've talked about this several times here on my channel, knowing that our thoughts are not truths. Our thoughts are not facts. Our thoughts are just thoughts a lot of the time. I mean, they're always just thoughts, but we get to decide which thoughts we're going to attach to, which thoughts we're going to keep around, and which ones we're going to send back to wherever they came from, to put aside if we don't really want to keep engaging with them. So don't even believe everything you think. Know that your brain is not completely reliable a lot of the time. This is a lot of the work that we do in the Shift Society around being able to understand how our thoughts dictate our lives and how to make sure that we are practicing thoughts and beliefs and perspectives that are going to create the feelings, that are going to drive the behaviors, that are going to create the outcomes that we want for our lives. We're changing our brains in that program. I'll teach you how to change your brain through the process that I teach in the Shift Society, the 5-step process. Information about that is in the description below. Grab it there. Also, if you want to start working on not getting so caught up in your thoughts, get my guided mindfulness exercise. It's for free. 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise is an audio that you can put some earplugs in, listen to right away. Get that one. I just had someone post in my Facebook group that they just got it after hearing me talk about it for so long. And they're like, it's so good. Why didn't I get it sooner? So I'm telling you, it's so good. Get it now. 10-minute guided mindfulness exercise. It's in the description. It's free. Stick some earplugs in. Listen to it now. Don't be this woman who is regretting not getting it sooner. Get it now so you don't have to regret not getting it sooner. Okay? And again, get on the wait list for the Shift Society. Tell me which one of these, or which several, there was a lot of them, which ones are you going to start practicing today? Always good to have you here. And as always, take good care of yourselves. Take good care of those around you. See you soon.